Check, check. Okay. So reversal. This is a wave strategy I'm testing out for a much bigger account. Heavy sell-off at open. Seemed prime for a drop today. We'd hit all-time highs twice, and there was news coming into open about the Iran war ceasefire, excuse me, stopping. However, around 6:40, we had a pullback that just continued going. We're above VWAP. Uh, Seems like a lot of this is to do with Wash as the new Fed chair. I also think we're just in a buying craze right now. We're one negative news article or tweet away from a plummet, but till we get that, I think a lot of people are trying to short. That was definitely the momentum this morning at open, but people are still trying to buy at least right now. So I took one trade on my Apex account this morning. It was on this pullback, um, entered short and was hoping to kind of catch a bit more momentum, uh, but kind of did a bit of a break even in the profit stop that got triggered. So I'm waiting for a bit of a better understanding of what's going to happen today before I take another trade on that account. Right now, a bit of a pullback, but not much of a clear sell on Delta yet. I gotta imagine we bounce at VWAP. Yesterday, I mean, if we're gonna repeat yesterday, it went up, it went down, and then was at VWAP most of the day, but with a slow grind up. So it's only 7:05, so yeah, I got a feeling that we're gonna get max loss today. Um, Again, this is testing out 4 contracts on a legacy 250K Apex account that I have evaluation. I actually have two. Um, it's been probably the one that I've found the most success when it comes to this strategy, just because of I can take a max loss, I can take 4 max loss days, um, even trading pretty aggressively and still get a good profit, but I haven't yet dialed in exactly what my max win and max loss days will look like to pass eval and have it be a sustainable past that. So it looks like buyers are in play, sellers try to step in, but with no real conviction. I've got a feeling we'll bounce around here for a little while, or we could break through the high of this red candle and just continue on up. Nasty day yesterday and today, raw sweep and reversals. Honestly, it's exactly what happened yesterday, where we bounced off the uh, 15-minute 200 EMA. So very foolish on my part to not see that and get out earlier. So that's something I mean, no two trading days are the same, but it is, or at least the last couple of weeks, I've noticed kind of a repeat pattern from one day to the next, or at least at the open. There's kind of an energy of what happened yesterday morning. Let's repeat that to the T. Even if there's no follow through, you can kind of see that action in play. So, I mean, this is a kind of as good an area as any to kind of throw in a final trade. So my max loss with 4 contracts is going to be 6,400. This was a very aggressive, again, not trying to say anything. This is a demo account. This is a testing of a strategy I'm going to try on these larger accounts. My Apex account is right here. I have a tiny, tiny profit on the day. We'll be maybe trading a bit of that later, but I'm working on no trade days being a win for me as well. When the market's not showing me anything worth trading, not to trade it. Interesting to me that this is a kind of a point of resistance. Not seeing anything on the daily really. Um, Obviously that red candle on the 535 for the big sell-off, but look to the left, look to the left. Yeah, I mean, pretty prominent red candle, but if we continue down, it'd be a shame if we didn't uh, miss that entry by a tick or two, but I think we'll blast right through, yeah. All right, people are buying. Um, it's almost 100% going to be a max loss. I'll have one more entry because again, this is a demo and this is about learning. This is a channel dedicated to learning. I'm not trying to pretend I'm most profitable trader. Uh, this is a account better for people who are starting out and kind of want to learn some of those early stages of trading. And it's for me to make sure that I am accountable to the rules and risk management that I've put in place. So we'll see. I got a feeling we'll kind of slowly grind up. Maybe once we get to the highs of the pre-market, either reversal or I guess blast through. I mean, that would be all-time highs yet again with the last day of negotiations still being undecided. So obviously could happen. Very bullish market, but I think last week was a excessive luxury for bullish traders. Very trendy. Pullbacks were bought instantly, so I guess that momentum stays on. I've had a lot more. It's funny if you look at the point of control on the ES, it's around here. It's where we're trading right now. But the point of control for NQ is still down here. So I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, people who bought here are holding onto their positions, but people kind of coming in. I actually don't remember where the point of control was on the ES. Around 6:45. So be interesting to know if that was a flip of point of control or not. So we're chopping. This is not fun price action. I don't. My rules for trading the apex is no trading after 8. Um, so I don't really see a reason to get in. I mean, there's the potential for a bounce off a value area high right here. Um, it's just not a clean move up to me. I mean, it is. There's green candle, pullback, green candle, pullback, green candle. I just don't know how much further this goes. Can it new high of day? Of course it can. Could be all-time highs, but with a huge sell-off this morning. Well, we have 45 minutes. I think there'll be a max loss in the demo account for this new strategy. Uh, don't know if I'll take any more trades on the Apex account. Again, very, very small, basically break even, but in profit trade. Um, took it and 6:35 candle pullback, kind of was getting continuation and then pulled back. So I had a kind of a break even, slightly in the profit. Stop loss it hit. Was looking for a bit more on that, and yeah, we are rocking and rolling. It's buy, buy, buy. Be interested to see what happens now when we get to previous. I mean, right, this section right here is all-time highs. It's a bit of resistance that again could rocket through, but we'll see. Struggling a bit more. I mean, again, all-time highs with last day of negotiations on the table. Interesting, but bullish. Can't fight a bullish market. No, should you? So one of the things that I've started paying close attention to is Delta. Um, for a while, I was a big Delta divergence kind of people talk about that a lot. So I was paying attention to that. You know, is it a seller stepping in as the candle's still green? And I was using it on TradingView, I think. Oh no, sorry, I had a different setting on here. However, this TraderBait setting where these candles don't turn green or red unless kind of significant buyers or significant kind of sellers have kind of come in is actually a really nice feature. Um, you know, I'm a big proponent of analysis paralysis and not having too many indicators on your charts. I'm aware I have quite a few lines. I actually don't pay too much attention to most of them. The ones that are the most important to me is point of control, value area low, value area high. Um, Obviously, the trader Vates end of day, sorry, lower day, high of day, and then a bunch of EMAs. These are more just I'll have them on to see if we're respecting them in the day in the session. If we're not, I don't pay too much attention. And then obviously VWAP's very important where we opened. Where we opened and um, Delta. But right now we see this kind of red candle forming down in the Delta indicator. Says that sellers are stepping in. Sometimes it feels silly to say that when you're looking at red candle, you're like, yeah, obviously, but there's something about the volume of sellers compared to people kind of swooping liquidation and stuff. So again, don't I'll never be selling a learning course. There'll be no Discord. I'm not by far the world's best trader. It's just kind of understanding these principles and getting my head around them and what works for me and what might work for you. Advice as far as what to do, what not to do. So, guys, coming coming back to the plate, got near. Well, we hit VWAP on the EMA, and we bounced right back up. So, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, not EMA VWAP. EMA bounced. Gosh, ES bounced off of VWAP. So just to be clear, I got EMA of ES and NQ charts on my screen. I never trade ES, but the how the two are trading, um, and how they interact and what they might be doing the same, what they might be doing different, key levels on both kind of informs how the other might behave, or if there's a divergence, if we're struggling to sell off on the NQ, but we are way down on the ES, and often tells me that might be a sell off coming. And honestly, that a little bit like right now, we got a broke through the VWAP on the ES. If we can kind of hold this and then continue on, then we've got a lot of feeling that we'll break through the VWAP on the NQ. But again, people want to buy. So if I break through this 24, I'm gonna exit and kind of re-enter. Um, Yesterday I kind of swapped my bias. I'm gonna stay with a kind of a shorting bias. It 100% could be the wrong move, but I think that's again looking at the daily all-time highs did not. It's where we kind of had this reversal. So we'll see if we can break through view up and continue lower, then I'll get out. So I've had a value area high shift. I'm very tempted to kind of put in another. Yeah, I'm gonna hold sit on my hands for now. We're bouncing off of VWAP on ES, so till we kind of push through, I don't could kind of bounce right back up, and this could be the pullback for all day, all-time new high. So wait, just to recap, waited on my entry this morning. We were below VWAP. We'd kind of had some struggles yesterday. Initial push up, but immediately pushed right back down. Got to Just checking. I think if it was yeah, got to um, new lows, broke the lows of pre-market to new lows, had a slight pullback, tried again, even lower, and then reversal. And then once we got above VWAP, bit of a pullback, again up. And then when we got to higher day, we've had this kind of reversal to VWAP. So if I had to guess, we'd either bounce around now above VWAP to higher day, or sorry, previous higher day, yesterday's previous higher day, or we'll blast through. So I think I was wrong today. That's something I'm working on, is taking the losses. You have a bias. Are we going up or are we going down? Today I picked down. Could be right. Could play out. If we do, I don't see it being my kind of max gain. But not trading on my Apex account. Again, took one trade this morning. This is not the kind of price action I enjoy. Kind of back and forth, back and forth. Can't decide if we're buying or selling. Working on my no trade days, having a no trade day being a win on my Apex. So just slowing up at 7:30. Got about half hour left of hopefully somewhat big move volatility potential, and after that, really, as everyone knows, slows down. And I'm on the West Coast, so 11 p.m. East Coast. So if you're just joining, my name's James. I'm 2 years day trader, about 7+ years investment trader, retail, very basic retail investment trader. 2 years ago, I started showing an interest in day trading. For started out in stocks. This is what I knew. Uh, Spent a lot of energy, wasted a lot of money trying to figure out what stocks were going to be the stocks to pay attention to that day. So by the time I actually got to the stocks, I was making poor decisions. So found out about futures. Started out swing trading futures because I don't know. I think it was just the people that I saw and the advice I was taking on felt a lot more structured. It was mainly oil and gas and gold micros, um, but wasn't great at handling kind of drawdowns, going to bed with a trade open, that kind of stuff. So eventually embraced the crazy NQ charts. Um, Even tried swing trading NQ, had some success with that, but it just does not move, or to my eyes, with as much structure as some of those other charts. Um, So finally started day trading it. Um, Threw my hat in the ring kind of late 2024. Kind of got my feet wet. As everybody knows, or should always start paper trading, should never start with real money. Maybe try with prop firms, but never go straight into a live account, which is exactly what I did. Went straight into a live account. Um, Made some money. A lot of it was luck based. It was also a very bullish market, very forgiving market. And then coming into the beginning of 2025, really kind of honed my skill, my risk reward, all the things that people say, but you never really pay attention till it's too late. And yeah, earned some money, earned some money, lost some money, earned some money, lost some money. I took a big loss and made a vow to make all that money back, which is exactly what I did. And then as soon as I did, I swore off live trading. I had heard about prop firms, I had some videos about prop firms. I had mixed reviews from prop, basically, are they worth it? If you can make money, why not just trade your own money? But one of those big losses was because of a stop loss that did not get triggered. And I had a long back and forth with Tradeovate, and they eventually refunded the money, but made it clear that they wouldn't do that again. So that plus having a significant loss on one day with my real money uh, made me embrace prop firms. So a freelance worker. So that was about midway through last year, and I had a job that took up the majority of my time, but started kind of getting familiar with the different prop firms and the different account sizes and the different rules and all these kind of extra layers that I hadn't had to worry about with my own account. And I reset the beginning of this year with fresh eyes and fresh determination. Passed two 50K evals, blew one of them. I've got one with Lucid that I am a few hundred down on from a few hundred profit. So taking a beat on that, kind of taking one trade a week, really, just to kind of keep it going, keep it active. And then I have my Apex 50K, um, but still learning how to trade prop firms. So I've used to basically quite a simple having a bias on the day shortly after open, buying into it or selling into that bias. Make once I hit a profit, walking away, a set profit, and once I hit a set loss, walking away. Um, with prop firms, trailing drawdown's been something I've really struggled to adapt to. I think I've gotten there now, basically taking wins when I can, but it's quite a transition. So that's what this channel's about. It's about this transition. More than anything, it's about me being accountable. I journal and I see what I need to be doing, and I set these rules, and then I break these rules. I blew my 50K, one of my 50K Apex accounts 2 weeks ago on a Friday for no reason. I just spiraled and was just wanted it to turn around, and it wasn't turning around, and I have no idea. I just lost all of my discipline. So that's why I started this channel, to be accountable, to show what I'm doing, so I can one, watch it back, and ideally in a year or two have people call me out for not doing what I said I was going to do. So anyway, bouncing around. Interest in ES is below VWAP, NQ's above it. I think if we get a real push down on the ES right now, could see some of that on NQ. However, bouncing off of the 200 EMA on ES. So haven't had any significant buyers or sellers on Delta since this kind of big red candle at 920. I think if we do get a reversal, I'll take whatever I can get on these 24 contracts and then be done for the day. Hit something I'm gonna have to work on with this strategy is if I am in a trade and it's in a loss by 8 o'clock, what my rules will be. One of my rules is to not enter a trade after 8 o'clock, but I haven't yet established exactly what my rules are going to be to be what I do if I'm in a trade at 8 o'clock. So do I just close a trade at 8 o'clock no matter what? Do I set a stop loss of what I will be losing or happy to lose? Yeah, so that remains to be seen. So maybe today will be the first kind of experiment of that. Maybe in the next 20 minutes we get a bit of a sell-off here. Fed chair nominee Warsh Fed holds onto its forecast longer than it should. So I mean, I imagine we're going to have quite a bullish sentiment from this new Fed chair. I think that's what people are going to want to hear. I think he wants to be in. So that he's speaking right now. So I'm reading the news. He's speaking right now. I use financial juice, which everyone should use some version of a understanding what news is coming out and how it can affect the market. I think a lot of people ignore the news, which is totally fine, just purely on price action. I think it helps inform some of these moves. So we're just bouncing around in this range now between point of control and VWAP. See what happens the next 10 minutes. But yeah, bit of a non-starter of a day. Two questions I ask myself is, did you make the right call? And the answer is no. I went for a selling bias. We had a big buy up. And could you have traded differently? And the answer is yes. I could have basically got out. I mean, it is selling off right now. We'll see. I'm going to get my kind of trailing stop ready. Very optimistic buy order there. Yes, I could have gotten out earlier. I was in the profit for a while. I could have gotten out earlier and waited, but it's not quite the strategy that works for this type of big wave trading. But patience, give it some time. I'm just going to check if audio is coming through on my YouTube. And there's the buying. So this sweep of liquidity under the VWAP, or at least just a very bullish reaction to it. Getting sold back down. Market doesn't know what it wants to do. I after last week, I think we can expect this all week till we get some new news on the ceasefire, the war in Iran. Still just not decided what I want to do. Yet ES have a big bounce off of the value area low. Went all the way up past VWAP, getting sold back down. 15 seconds left on this candle. I think if they both close red, that could be good for me, but who knows? So this is going to be very interesting. I think this is where the smart money choice would be to put my take profit right on the other side of my entry and just get out. But gonna give it 5, 10 more minutes. I think we're selling off here, and if I can get even a couple hundreds, I'm seeing a lot of signs to sell. Um, Obviously, you have no idea. We've been very choppy all over the place, but to me, I have the potential to actually make a bit of money finally today. Here we go. All right. So I think a lot of people had. So this is yeah. This blue dotted line right here was yesterday's open. So we've got to be careful. I think while there's a lot of range left on the um, NQ, we are kind of approaching lower day. Oh, wow. All right. Well, we might. Okay. I'm going to take a beat, try to reset. All right. So do I think we can go lower? Yes, I do. I'm going to enter again. I just was not comfortable with that size uh, of contracts at that entry. If we did reverse, it kind of gave me no wiggle room. That's kind of maxed out. So see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. If I'd have had a live account, I likely would have just stayed in, and I likely would have hit my take profit for the day right here when I had my 24 contracts buy right there. But that's not what we're doing, and it could have very easily reversed, and I could have just got max loss in the day. So here we go. Here's the catalyst. This is why news is good. Pakistan Information Minister ceasefire ends at 4:50 a.m. A declar a decision from Iran to attend the talks before the end of the 2-week ceasefire is critical. Well, no new news there, but I think just a red letter reminding people we are in a war. Ceasefire could be ending soon. So this is probably my first proper live stream. I'm aware no one's watching other than testing this account, but this has been very helpful for me. I will be getting a better mic so it doesn't sound as janky. Um, but this has been a success for me. Uh, it's just about making sure that I do what I'm saying I'm doing. Um, and ideally, in a few years, people will potentially be watching with me and calling me out, and we can trade together. Um, but in the meantime, it's good to have this for me, and I can watch it back. And so sell-off continues. The ES is about to do new lows of the day, so keep an eye on that. So yeah, I would out that 24 original uh, exit would have been in play, but did not want to risk it. That's part of this new trading with the prop firm mentality. Again, for just tuning in, I do have a Apex account that I've been trading. Chose not to trade it today after the first trade reversed quite significantly on me, and just not seeing the price action I wanted to trade today. So testing out my strategy for my 250 Apex legacy accounts that I think are going to have a little bit more um, potential for me in the future. So we're getting some buy-in. I think I gotta like I'm gonna commit to this sell. I think I kind of had some like, well, we'll see, but I'm gonna commit to this sell. I think if we get a to this first one's if we get a bounce off of, I mean, I kind of missed this entry, but if we test it again, it's a bounce off of the 200 EMA on the downside, bounce off of VWAP, and the 14 and 20s are right there on the 5 minute. And then value area, point of control, and then value area high. And then if we do that, then around the day. So again, this is probably trading I wouldn't do when I actually implement it on a funded account, but so I got a feeling we could have a bit of a drop here soon. So hey, was I right? Yes, as far as bias on the day, but very choppy price action. I can see us reversing, honestly. Um, And there's the sell-off. So yeah, had the right idea earlier. Um, I think this kind of buying momentum, understandably, had people wanting to buy the dip. Um, Again, coming near lower day, big chance we could reverse. Red News formal response from Iranian side about confirmation of delegation to attend peace talks is still awaiting. So yeah, no new news, just you know confirmation that we are in a war and ceasefire depending on peace talks, and these peace talks might not be happening. So I'm gonna put a fire right there. We could blow through loads of lower days, but I'm not. I mean, it's nearly 8, so you've been waiting around all day for a setup. You want to make sure that you can capitalize on it when it does come, but I don't want to be here for too long. So I'm gonna get quite aggressive in my entries. I've got one for a bounce off of point of control. Sorry, value area low. I've got one for yesterday's close and today's open. I'll get one right here. There we go. We vested through. So I'm gonna enter again. This is not usual kind of style of entering at lower day, but I think we've got potential to really, if you look at the daily candle, we've got points to go. And we're due a bit of a sell-off, and I think if people start, it's later in the session, but if we've broken lower days on the ES and NQ, potential for a reversal right now would be a bit lower, but I'll probably enter again quite aggressively if we get a bit of a pullback. So my take aim for profit on the day is 2,000. Trading MNQ, scaling in. So that's the drop. So for me, I don't want to be. It's tough. I see significant drop happening looking at the daily candle, but I also don't want to get too cocky here. So I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna wait for a retest of this value area for the previous low of day. Also have one here, so if we do blast through, we've got more potential. Kind of grab a quick scalp. So yeah, I mean, 1,000 is fine. I think the tough thing about this strategy is the red days are bigger than the green days, which is in a lot of people's eyes are going to be a failing strategy. But my win rate with the strategy is quite high. So, but the win days do need to be at least the significant win days that I've got in place. So, a win day is a win day for sure, but if your win is half of what you expect it to be, over and over and over, and then you do have a full max loss red day, it doesn't work for me. So enter again. Big part of learning about trading for me is basically just being present, turning up, not just entering a trade because you're sat at a chart, but being there, being present, ready for when the conditions are right. So potential for a reversal now. We've definitely still got people wanting to buy a dip at some point. Delta's starting to slow down a bit. I'm not gonna say that we don't go dramatically lower, but I'd say there's probably a bit less of a chance of a hey, look at me, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm still gonna favor caution. So nearly 500 away from my goal on the day. I'm gonna take a little beat. I think it's previous low on the NQs on the ES is getting hit right now. Still got wiggle room on the daily low. Not really seeing another established pivot point for a while. Previous low on the down here, so give it a beat. Okay, I'm gonna enter in this pullback. I got another entry right here at value area low. Retest of low. I mean, we'll go for a struggle because it's such movement on the we'd have such a move up on the ES to be retesting previous low. So I feel comfortable with that. I mean, I think I like this entry more. If we hit this and then reverse and then that could have been 500, then hey, but give it 10 minutes. I'm gonna. Ooh, I was about to move that to make sure I get filled. Okay. So we got a bit of a reversal, big pullback. I thought there would be one and a continuation lower because the ES sold off so significantly. Could be wrong, could be a full on reversal, but right now, not too worried. So trading a little longer than I'd like. My rule is try to be done by 8, max out by 9 if the conditions are right. Um, what I do usually do around now is basically have everything in place to be out. Kind of no more entries on the books, and then kind of go make a coffee. So probably gonna do that soon. All right. I'm going to call it here as far as the stream. Uh, Great first day. Again, figuring out how this is going to work, logistics, etc. I am trading on two different screens, and the one for the stream isn't the one that I'm trading on, and I think that's kind of giving me. I'm not really able to point stuff out to you guys without taking my attention off my main trading screen. So we'll work on that. Um, Good day. Yet to be decided, actually, if this continues selling off after a couple entries, I'll get my max 2 grand on the day. If we reverse, we chop around. To me, that's a failure. My goal is to be done with trading by 9 latest. A big part of why I am doing this is to be um, have people tell me stop trading, be done, be accountable for that. So um, right now, I'm just sitting here hoping that we kind of have a flush, which also isn't that helpful for me. So I have my orders in place. I won't add any more. I have one at the entry for the day, or sorry, opening of the day, which is also around 14 VWAP, yesterday's close. I have one at VWAP, sorry, 14 EMA before, not VWAP. But I do have one at VWAP, which is also just above yesterday's um, open. And then I have one at point of control, one at value area high, which is also where we had a kind of a rejection and this started this push back down because of the it was all-time highs territory. I will probably put just one at a higher day just in case we come up there. I don't think we will, but anyway, thank you very much. That's it for me. I will be back again.